Episode 19, the Proper Gentleman's Club. Sorry for the loudness. Let me get that situated. Welcome to episode 19. We're almost there, almost to the new year. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hope it was fantastic for all of you. Let's get right into it. Last week we had a big conversation, had a lot of information that I wanted to share. I just had to get that off my chest. We're going to go back to the regular conversation type pieces that I enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy sharing information, but sometimes when you're not accredited in a certain field or whatever, the information can kind of get lost. I'm sure that video will pop back up at some point. Just, somebody's going to find that video and it's going to really help them. And I'll enjoy hearing about that. But this week, something a little bit lighter, something more regular, especially with Christmas and New Year's coming up. First off, I wanted to touch on, we had a couple things I wanted to just briefly discuss today. This is probably not going to be a huge, long video, but definitely wanted to talk about, one, the pen is mightier than the sword. It's crazy, crazy. Two, gratitude, right? And three, the power in letting go and just being. And I do have some coffee here, so forgive me if I do get a few sips in here and there. It's hot right off the pour over. So I'm just gonna be a regular guy today. I kind of like no pressure of having to make sure I get everything right. Obviously, you can see I'm doing this during the daytime. Usually I'm up in the morning getting this stuff done. And I do need to get that vlog up too. I'll probably get that up today from last week's episode. And I will also, I need to get a couple TikToks up and stuff too. So hope you guys had a great Christmas. I'm feeling very grateful right now. And I think really it's not because I'm purposely practicing gratitude. I think it's more because I'm embodying the state. And I've been working on this. If you've been on this page a bit, we've kind of transitioned from talking about being a gentleman, like in the things that we can do to be a gentleman, to really kind of being that person and being that for me. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit to the kind of power in letting go, because, man, to be honest, I don't think a lot of people realize how we hold on to stuff. And when you let go of your old state, whatever that may be, it can be hard to kind of like progress forward when you don't realize how you've held on to stuff and how much stuff has become a part of you. And your past hurts, all your jobs, all the people that you've met, and like the older you get, if you're not consciously like letting stuff go, it becomes easier to just pile it on the big pile of shit that you have in your backyard, thinking that you'll use it as compost later. And you never end up using it as compost. It just sits there. Now your house is a junkyard. Now you've got a bunch of shit everywhere that you're not even using, that you thought you were going to use. And you end up being this bitter person. And you end up not thinking that you're bitter. But the energy that you're carrying around is that of a bitter person. I started noticing over the past few months, like, when did I start carrying myself with this air of unapproachability, this air of I'm not a friendly guy, this air of I'm not open to meeting new people or having new experiences with new people, or I've constantly got to work through my trauma, or I've constantly got to work through all the stuff that's in my head. Like, when did I get there? And so the power in letting go and just being, when you're living moment to moment and you're conscious of how your brain is processing information in every moment, then it becomes more important that you separate yourself from things that can get into your conscious headspace and corrode your energy. And so, that being said, we go back to the beginning now of the pen is mightier than the sword. And this happened to me the other day. So I don't know if you guys know, I have a gaming channel, Jimmy Disco with two O's, Jimmydiscoo, Jimmy Disco. Let's look up Jimmy Disco sim racing. So I do a lot of sim racing. You see the rig in the back, and one of the things I noticed is that, so I have this complex of perfectionism, which I'm taking out of my daily life and just putting into like my hobbies and stuff like that. Like, you have to direct these things. And forgive me if this seems like a ramble. I just wanted to kind of briefly discuss three things that have been swirling in my head and make this a lighter video, just a hangout video. So welcome. If you're coming to hang out and you've seen some of my other videos and, I don't know, seeing the little stream in the background and just hearing me talk while you're working or something like that is cool. So appreciate all the likes and subscribes that you guys have given me. It's been cool to see that you guys like some of the content. So we'll continue on. So back to the sim racing. So I was racing the other day, and the complex is, so I did 700 miles on Tuesday. 700 miles I raced all day. And I was trying to get my time down. And, one of the quotes that I like is to recognize that it's not impossible, but it's humanly possible. Like, if another human can do it, you can do it too. And it's a matter of your belief, right? And so here I am, and the top guys in the world are, 3 seconds faster than me on this track. Now, the thing is that I'm, top 8% most of the time. But that's not good enough for me. Like, when I'm in it, it doesn't feel like I'm good enough. And so in myself, and it's been something that's been there forever, I find myself cursing myself. And not really like cursing myself, but I'll be agitated inside and I'll say these things like fuck off, or I'll just be in a mood about it. And so the other day, I decided to finally change that consciously, because I realized I could feel it in my body how agitated I was becoming. And no matter what I did, no matter what changes I made, the time was not coming down. It wasn't coming down. And so every time I went to go say fuck off, because I had made a mistake, I decided to say bless you. Like I had sneezed or something. And the first couple times was hard. But after the first couple times, I just started saying I'm blessed. Bless you. You're good enough. You got this. And do you know how hard it was to say that after I made a mistake? It was so hard to say bless you or you're good enough after you made a mistake. But within 10 minutes, and mind you, I've been doing this all day, fuck off, and being mad. And within 10 minutes, a half a second came off. 0.4 of a second came off out of nowhere and got me in the top 500 at the time, which out of 20,000 entries I was happy about. It felt like the thing is that earlier in the day I had gotten my time to kind of where I wanted it, but I knew I was still faster. And so that initial monkey was off my back. But as I went on, knowing that these guys were doing times that were just insane, when that time finally came off, it was like, this was because my words changed to myself. Pen is mightier than the sword. We have to watch our thoughts and our words so carefully. So, Christmas. I had been telling my friend the other day, I've got a really good friend, and I was writing just some notes to him about him and his family and how, I appreciate them kind of bringing me in and caring about me and being there for me through some tough times for myself. And he told me I need to tell those things to those people because they would really appreciate it. I said, cool. So Christmas gave me an opportunity to buy some really nice cards and to just write some notes. And the thing is, I do consider myself a writer, and I'm not going to go into that, but I wrote. And obviously I bought some other gifts for them, but to write these words felt powerful to me. And the thing is that When's the last time you wrote something really nice to somebody that was more than just like a couple sentences? When is the last time you really wrote some really nice things to people, or somebody really wrote some nice things and gave them to you, and the impact that that had on you? And so I was thinking about this as I'm writing, and I'm like, the pen definitely has strength to it. The pen can cut like a sword as well. And so you think about all the things that you may see online, the comment sections, the titles of videos that catch your attention that you know you shouldn't be watching. I saw one today. It was like, break up with your partner if they do these 5 things. And I was just like, how audacious of a video. And people were on there, and there were a couple people like, why this content? And people were like, this must be you. And I'm like, we should not be making this kind of content. This is evil. This content is evil. It's evil. And even the feeling right now I have of thinking about that is just nasty. The feeling is nasty. The pen is mightier than the sword. Use your words wisely. Write things consciously. Write good things and put them out there. Write things that are helpful and put them out there. If you're writing or thinking or saying something and it gives you a nasty feeling, or you've got somebody in mind that you hope see this and it makes you feel a certain way, like don't. Because if you watch my last video, you're producing a field that's going to go out into the world around you and create that nonsense around you. And so that's part of the thing of being grateful and thankful. Like every day when you wake up and you go to sleep, just being grateful, not even trying to manifest, but just being grateful. Like and I know it's social media, and social media is definitely geared more towards women, and women have such power, they have no clue. I was browsing my YouTube the other day, and I watch a lot of the fast guys, and these guys, they have 800 views on their videos or whatever. But I came across this random girl, and she considers herself an average sim racer. Like, she's not even really racing, really. She just hangs out. And she had almost 6,000 views on her video because she's a woman. And I just wish more women really understood the power that they have, because if they really understood, they wouldn't say the things that are being said online and the vicious things that are being said just about everything. And men don't have that kind of power. Pen is mightier than the sword. Pen is mightier than the sword. And so the last thing about that is written intent versus thought intent. So you can think something intentionally, which is great, and you can marinate on that thought and hold that thought. But when you write it, it becomes real. And so watch what you're writing. And if you're serious, plan out those things that you're looking to do, because written intent takes control of that thought, and it's the building blocks. It's almost like amino acids and protein. Amino acids being the building blocks of protein, which help repair and build your muscle fibers. So written intent is just like that. Written intent is building blocks of your thoughts becoming reality. So same thing. You want to create consciously and to have your conscious thought be created around you. Write it down and watch it happen. One other thing that a lot of people aren't going to like, it is black and white. I used to be a gray area guy. Just kind of leave it up to whatever. No, it's black and white. Either you are or you aren't. Either you're thinking and being in the state that you're in, or you're not. Either you believe or you don't. And even with belief, it's a knowing or you don't. Either you know or you don't. Right? And when you look at it like that, either you know that you're going to reach your goals or you don't. Believe means that there's a bit of doubt there. And if there's any doubt, it's full doubt. So be very careful with that. And then gratitude is very important. And I've realized this only recently. And I've practiced gratitude. But when I'm in traffic now and somebody's driving under the speed limit, which a lot of people do because a lot of people are on their phones now, I'm so much less bothered. This is also a practice. So when somebody's saying something to you negative or something that's not positive, because it's either positive or it's negative, right? Because that's what infuses, the positive or negative charge is what infuses the atoms into molecules and creates the field. Last video shows this. Your infusion, and they actually just discovered that there's a time lag with light entering the atom. I'll have to post this article somewhere. But there's a time lag, and I believe that's the consciousness of being. So I am, and whatever you infuse that with is what becomes. So gratitude in your daily life of when things are happening that don't feel that great, don't sound that great. You have to consciously. So this is one of the things that Neville Goddard teaches, and it's crazy. If somebody's saying something to you, you have to consciously change what they're saying. Somebody's telling you what a bad job you're doing, how horrible of a person you are, and this is just an extreme example. Change that into they're telling you how great you are. And this is not gaslighting yourself. This is keeping your energy where it should be, right? And eventually that changes. Because if you host that energy, if you allow that energy in, you become that. And you can hold resentment, bitterness, etc., etc. So changing it to what the desired state and being in that. And this is not being delusional. This is just conscious creation of your reality. And so obviously there's an acceptance of what is, but that's also letting go. The need to control is a limiter on our minds because we don't know how our subconscious is going to work out the things that we seek in our reality. We don't know these things. But consciously, we try to control based on what we do know. And to do that is limitation. For instance, manifesting $5,000. Your conscious mind may have like 3 ways in mind that this can happen. And by focusing on those 3 ways, you are limiting how this can happen for you. And so there is a conscious moment-to-moment thing that we have to manage until this becomes habit. And I believe now I'm in the habit state. My feeling is very different. My energy is very different on a day-to-day basis. My waking up and going to bed at night, I'm constantly, consciously in that spot of being just grateful now. Now I'm no longer trying to manifest. I don't even care anymore. It's just nice to be grateful for life itself and to be in this place. So I think that's it. The pen is mightier than the sword. Gratitude is always the answer. Obviously the power in conscious thought we just talked about, but then like the power in letting go and just being is so important. You can't control everything. You can't control anything at all, but you can be in the state that you desire and you can exist there. And that's so healthy to be in. So that's all I got. Listen, we're going to be back next week, but I'll probably do it. I may do a New Year's podcast. So keep a lookout for that. We'll see on that Wednesday. I haven't been drinking at all. I've actually been sober for about 4 months now. At least 90 days. And so this has been kind of one of the healthiest points in my life. So we'll be back next week with another podcast episode. Can't wait to get to 21 and then past that. I'm going to get this video up here today. And so I appreciate you guys. Again, if you cool with the content, you like this stuff, give me a like and subscribe. I'm going to keep this stuff coming for you, especially in the new year. Every week. The blog, again, I'll have the blog up today. And so if you guys want to see that, that's at the propergentlemensclub.com. Proper Gentlemen's Club on TikTok, Proper Gentlemen's Club on Instagram. And check out the sim racing channel where we hang out. So I stream there. So if you guys ever have any questions, stream schedule is mainly on the weekends. I'll probably be streaming later today. But yeah, Saturdays and Sundays is usually when you can catch me streaming. So if you guys have any questions, want to come kick it, Jimmy Disco, with 2 O's. Just look up Jimmy Disco Sim Racing. So we're at 20 minutes. I wanted to cut it off. Went probably past a little bit more, but appreciate you guys. Again, hit me with a like and subscribe if you want to keep getting my content to your feed. Appreciate it. Helps me out a lot. And I'll catch you guys next week. If it's after New Year's, Happy New Year's, but Merry Christmas. Love you guys. See you soon.